Hi and welcome to Origin of Concepts. Today I'm going to show you the origin or the very early meaning of the Vesica Piscis symbol up here. The Vesica Piscis symbol popped up independently around the ancient world cultures. The symbol is most famous for its roots in the Pythagorean schools as measure of the fish, representing the intersection of two worlds, both used for measurements and cosmic understanding in the so-called sacred geometry. The cosmic root understanding and the term Vesica Piscis, which means the fish bladder, was made with inspiration of the Milky Way center. That's why I'm here. So let's take a look at the Milky Way center. Vesica Piscis is the symbol of creation from the fish bladder, visualized by the dark shadows surrounding the Milky Way center, which is also the fish. And the fish is here. Here we got the fish, and I always make like a tail here so you can see it look like a fish. So this is the fish, and inside the fish, of course, we got the bladder, which is here. This is the bladder inside the fish, the golden disk light in the Milky Way center, the spirit light. The bladder is the circle of combined, unmanifested mother and father spirit. And you have to imagine two circles on top of each other. So this circle we got here is two circles in one, because mother and father spirit is one. And when the circles are pulled apart, the unmanifested spirit manifests as physical light, the golden disk. So we have two circles and we draw them like this, and then we got creation, or the light of creation, because there's a step more, but we'll get to that later. So let's see if I can draw it here. It will be something like this and this. So now the two circles is, draw it from each other. And in the middle, we got this section here, which is named the mandala, or the almond, which is very important. The creation of the physical world comes from the manifested golden disk light. And I will find the color here, because inside here we got the light of the world, or the spirit light, who manifests. You can see it with your eyes, but it's still not physical form. And let me see here. And it's born from the womb of the mother, so to speak, the cosmic womb in the fish, and manifested into the striped shadow here. So this striped shadow here represents the light becoming hard and like material, the first step of creation. So we got the mother and the father, which is the same, and they split up, and the light comes in the middle, and it manifests and hardens, so to speak, on the earth. The striped shadow is the earth, the physical world, or the mortal world, so to speak. And this is the Trinity, and the Pythagoreans' divine triangle, which became the symbol of light in the Platonic solids. And let me give you an example here. I'll redraw it here, because here we got the Vesica Piscis, the blue and white area, the sky atop the disk is separated. And then we got the light here in the middle, which manifests into the mortal world here. So that's the Trinity. 1 and 1 gets 2, and 3 is the physical world, and that makes the Trinity. And let me explain why Pythagorean got the perfect triangle, so to speak. One is the mathematical way to measure it out, and the other one is the divine triangle. And the triangle is, of course, the Milky Way center here. This is also the origin of the ancient Egypt or the inspiration source to build the pyramids. And that's why the Pythagorean, the Platonic solids, the triangle, is the symbol of light. So, very simple, if you just understand the Pythagoreans. The principles in the Pythagorean sacred trinity, and later the Fibonacci sequence. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 1 is 2, and 2 plus 1 is 3. The Trinity. This is the origin of the Trinity in the Western philosophy, so to speak. And this was before any Bibles or any Trinities were written down in the modern religious texts. And let me just, because it's so important, let me do it over so you understand. Here we got the Pythagorean triangle, the divine triangle. And then we got the, let me, to do it, you got the mother here, the silvery shadow here, with the female posture. And then we got the father, the father is the beard here, so to speak, the beard of Osiris. And they mix together in the leg up here, the spirit of the mother and father. And they got number 1 and number 1, because 1 and 1 is 1 in the Pythagorean system. And when they go together, here in the golden disc, it's 2, because now the mother and father spirit is manifesting, but not physical, only as the divine light. And the divine light manifests into the earth, to the flesh, so to speak. And this is 3. And here you got the Trinity and the meaning of the Vesica Piscis symbol. Let's move on, because there is more. The Vesica Piscis was later used by the Christians as the ichthys, the fish of Jesus. The Christians adopted the symbol to represent the Jesus fish, or ichthys, or ichthys, that's right. The Jesus fish originated in the 1st century Roman Empire as a secret coded symbol for early Christians. It served as a discreet and like an identification exclamation mark frequently drawn in the sand or on walls during times of persecution to identify fellow believers and save spaces. So it was like the secret mark of the Christians. And let me draw it for you here so you know what we are speaking about. This is the Jesus fish. And the early Christians were well aware of the Pythagoreans' inspiration from the Milky Way center. The Jesus fish is of course the fish in the Milky Way center. And the cross tail, the cross here on behind, represents the dark shadows crossing over the disk light, where the creation of the light of the world, Jesus, happens. So let me draw the fish here. I'll find the color. This is the fish is basically the entire Milky Way center here. But you know, the Christians always need the cross, and the cross is here. So they combine those two symbols. So they make the fish like, let's just use the front of the fish here. Here and here. And in the middle, we got the birth of Christ, right in the center of the Milky Way. So, let me see here. And the cross is, of course, always, it represents that we got one shadow here, the earthly shadow, so to speak, and the other one here is the divine, where the two rivers meet, and they are crossing in the middle of the golden light disk in the Milky Way center. So, and what else do I note here? The creation of the Abrahamic religions was heavily influenced by the Pythagoreans. Yes, of course. I think all of it, more or less. And all the so-called evidence that Judaism existed before the Pythagoreans is pure, based on the Bible narrative made with the inspiration of the Pythagoreans. So, you know, Bible stories are not real historical events. The Pythagoreans come much earlier than Judaism or any Abrahamic religion. They were the first to obtain the Egypt and Asian wisdom and mingle it together, you know, and then everybody else copied, so to speak. So now you know where to look for Vesica Piscis. Let me put it up here once again. The bladder of the fish. Here you got the fish, and it even got an eye here because that's used. It's a fish or a dolphin in many myths. So here you got it, and in the center we got the divine light, the light of the world, so to speak, or any kind of manifested spirit in all the world myths around the world. And we are sitting here on the mortal realm, and we have to get in touch with the spirit. So that's all you need to know about the Vesica Piscis. And that's all. I hope you enjoyed. And thank you so much for watching. And until next video, take care. Bye.